Hello everyone, Patricius Wanono again here. Today's topic is grammar. I'm going to talk about subjects of reduced clauses and unfinished sentences. These are typical mistakes that my students have been making from time to time. And because I don't like to see them, I don't like to see the mistakes. Of course, now I'm going to help them improve the sentences. Okay, let's dive into my PowerPoint slides. Okay, people, so this is the topic for today, subjects of clauses and unfinished sentences. So let's look at these sentences. One of the two clauses can be shortened or reduced. So I'm going to show you two clauses. One of them can be shortened or reduced. Yeah. Look at this one. He entered the room and he saw a magic trick was being shown to the guests. Yeah. So you have two clauses here. He entered the room. That's the first clause. He saw a magic trick was being shown to the guests is the second clause. Now we can shorten the first clause, or we can reduce the first clause. So it becomes entering the room. Yeah. You have delete the he, and then you change this into ing form. Entering the room, comma, he saw a magic trick was being shown to the guests. Now you notice that the subject of this act, entering, is he. See, the subject of this clause is he. And it is always like that. The subject of a reduced clause here is the he here. The subject after that. Yeah. Okay, now the students swam across the river and a beautiful scenery immediately greeted them. Again, two clauses, and I'm going to reduce one of them. Swimming across the river, a beautiful scenery immediately greeted them. Now this is wrong. Yeah. Why? Because if you put it this way, then a beautiful scenery here becomes the subject of swimming. Of course, it doesn't make sense. Pemandangan yang indah berenang melintasi sungai. Now that doesn't make sense. Yeah, the beautiful scenery does not swim, and that's why if you put it this way, then it is wrong. Okay. Now how do you correct it? Now you have to write it this way: swimming across the river, comma, the students or they saw a beautiful scenery. Okay. Now this one is correct because we have the subject of the verb swimming here is the students or they here. Now it makes sense. Setelah berenang melintasi sungai, murid-murid itu melihat pemandangan yang indah. Now, if you translate it into Indonesian, it makes sense. And you know when it makes sense, then you know that it is correct. Okay? Yeah. Now, can you notice what is wrong below? Plunging 200 feet into rocks, we can see the Chopan Rondo waterfall. Now, if you put it this way, then what happens is like this. We plunge jatuh, we plunge 200 feet into rocks. Yeah, because the subject of the plunging here is the we, right? So if you put it this way, it means that you or we are falling 200 feet into rocks. Of course, that's terrible, right? You don't want to do that, right? So this sentence is wrong because it means this one, and of course you do not mean that, right? You do not mean that. So how do you correct it? Yeah, this is correct. The Chopan Rondo waterfall plunges 200 feet into the rocks. Yeah, or we saw an awesome scenery. Chopan Rondo waterfall plunges 200 feet into the rocks. Yeah, or still entering the area, we could see Chopan Rondo waterfall plunge 200 feet into the rocks. Now, again, when you have a reduced clause like this, the subject of the entering here is the we. And if you translate it into Indonesian, it makes sense. Now, once you know that it makes sense, you know that you have the right sentence. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Now, another typical mistake is unfinished sentences. So, for example, you have, according to a survey conducted in 2017 by a group of scientists at Harvard, then suddenly you have period. Suddenly the sentence finished just like that. Now it's hanging, it's unfinished, it's wrong. Yeah, you cannot put it that way. When your sentence is like that, it is unfinished sentence and it is incorrect. It is wrong. Okay. Yeah. Again, second one. While online games are commonly perceived negatively by most educators, and suddenly, period. The sentence is not finished yet. The writer uh, puts a full stop to it. Suddenly, it stops. And of course, if you read this, you are confused. What do you mean by that? You have not finished your sentence. Okay? Yeah. So, how do you correct it? Now, this one is correct. According to a survey conducted in 2017 by a group of scientists at Harvard, happy persons live longer than the more melancholic people. Okay, now this is correct. If you translate it into Indonesian, it makes sense and you know that it is correct. Second one, while online games are commonly perceived negatively by most educators, yeah, traditional games are thought to promote health and strong social relationships, period. Now, the sentence is complete. There's no more unfinished sentence. The sentence is complete. Yeah? After the first clause, you have a comma, and then after the comma, you continue with the next clause, and then it finishes right there, and that is correct. Okay, yeah. Okay, keep calm and happy learning. Stay safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.